Welcome back, Lake listeners. Thank you for coming back for more of Season 4 with our Grow, Thrive, Inspire podcast. Today, we are excited to have another Community Spotlight episode shining a light on an amazing new business here at Lake of the Ozarks. Here to share more about it is my new great friend, Miss Kayle. Kayle, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to talk about you and all that LOZ video has going on.
I am excited to be here. I'm usually behind the cameras, so it's kind of fun to be on this side for once.
I can imagine. Yeah, it's different.
A little nerve-wracking, but...
Oh, we got this. So, Kayle, let's just kind of start this episode with you just telling our listeners a little bit more about yourself and kind of why video.
So I'm originally from Springfield, Missouri. I grew up there, and I went to Glendale High School.
Okay.
And, you know, in high school, you get all the new, extracurricular activities. Mm-hmm. So I was really into the arts. I started doing, drawing, painting. They did ceramics, pottery. I think they even had, a printmaking workshop there once.
Neat.
But I wanted to try something new. So, I tried wood shop. And then they had this class, media. My teacher is Miss Baxley. She's awesome. I still talk to her to this day. She actually helped me get my job.
Oh, that's cool.
But basically, we had groups all year, and we were assigned a video camera. And we would have projects where you'd go walk around the school and just do whatever. We made music videos. We would make commercials, advertisements. And so I guess that kind of just started my interest in film.
Yeah, well, that's really neat. I have a similar experience when I was in high school. We did the news for the high school. I don't know.
A journalism
I can't remember
thing.
right now. It's been a hot minute since I've been back there. But yeah, it was a really fun time though, and you do learn a lot. So.
Yeah, and it's fun to not be confined to a classroom space.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of go around the school doing whatever.
Right. Well, and that's kind of leading into my next question is a lot of people don't understand the challenges that come with video. So what are some challenges with videography?
There are a number of challenges. That's kind of funny. Whenever you run into making appointments and maybe having to reschedule because there's a storm or it's really bright that day and, the houses are super white and,
Mm-hmm.
Someone can only get with you in the mornings and
Mm-hmm.
usually it's pretty bright then. And then lighting inside and outside, having trouble with that. And one of my least favorites is showing up somewhere with a dirty lens.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you can wipe the lenses off, but you have to change the lenses, from,
Mm-hmm.
zoom lens to wide angle or whatever you're looking for. So the inside of them get dirty and you've got to clean them you've got certain tools you have to use to clean them. So the worst thing is, or even showing or getting to the end of a project and loading them on the computer and then finding the little spots later.
No.
Yeah, it's the worst thing because then you're I've got to go through and take all these off. And if it's a video, you can't really take them off.
Right.
So
yeah, there's no way that software, that editing software helps take away that.
A still picture, yes. Moving picture, no. So it can be pretty difficult.
Well, and I know just from my own experience with video too, trying to do videos for Facebook or with your phone versus an actual camera. There's a lot that goes into it. So
yes. Your phones do most of the work for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you got a big camera, you're doing all the work. You're doing all the work.
So transitioning a little bit, that was some challenges, but what are some of your favorite things about videography?
Probably the variety of directions that you can go with it. It's a very creative process. Like I said, I've always been into the arts. I've always been into the creative processes. So it's fun to go into new projects and kind of brainstorm them and lay them out and kind of get together what you're going to be doing.
Right.
The editing part can be tedious, but the end part's also pretty rewarding. So
yeah, well, and if you're a creative person like you say you are, with all of your history in the creative arts, it's fun when you have that kind of bug in your head. I know, I love creation. If I could just create all day, I'd be so happy.
And I love working with if my clients are very creative themselves too. Because, because I don't always want to be the one making the whole video.
Yeah, or coming up with all the ideas.
Yeah, because it's theirs too. You want it to be a little piece of them. So it's fun whenever the clients will kind of pitch into
and have some ideas. Yeah, that is fun. I can see that. Okay, transitioning to LOZ video for just a second. What products and services are you kind of currently offering?
So we do headshots and group shots, and then also real estate photography. We do the 3D virtual tours with the Matterport. So if you want to load something up onto the Matterport site, and then video and drone footage.
Oh, okay. That Matterport thing is really cool. That camera is intense.
Yes, it is. And what's nice about it is you can get some pretty good photos off of it as well.
Yeah, you really can. You can pull a lot from those Matterport cameras.
Yes.
Well, I'm really excited about all of your products and services because, you know, it when you have a videographer introduced into, you know, especially the real estate industry, but so many other industries, like your quality, in my opinion, just goes way, way up, you know, with everything that the drones can do now and the cameras, like it is, you can tell a difference.
Drone was pretty hard to learn, but it's definitely been one of my favorite things to do too, because you just get such cool shots from it and you just get to see everything, you know, and especially being on the lake, it's cool to get those shots way up in the air where you can see a house or maybe a business or just landscape and then the lake all behind it. So.
Well, and I think that the lake is like the perfect example because like we have a drone at home and like we play around with it. It's nothing that we do for money, but like some of the best sunsets come from Lake of the Ozarks. And man, there you can get some really cool drone footage of some sunsets here.
I've been throwing, and I even live up in Camdenton. I don't live on the lake, but I have been throwing my drone up at my house and the sun sets right in front of my house. So it's super cool footage that I can get.
That's
like
awesome.
Right whenever the sun goes down.
Okay, so what would be some goals that LOZ Video has this year?
So the one is that we are opening up the services to all the businesses here at the lake.
That is going to be so exciting.
Yes. So I've been working a lot with real estate agents, but I'm looking to branch out and do more. You know, I don't want to be confined to just one thing. And I think it'd be fun to kind of get into some other stuff. So.
Well, that's really exciting. Yeah. And not just real estate, but being able to branch out into any kind of video need for anybody else. You could probably create some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, just kind of give myself a little extra push myself to do a little more. So, it's
well, I
exciting.
like that. Yeah. So, a couple more questions. What are kind of some favorite aspects of your job as a videographer? What do you like so far? Like, what are some of your favorites?
So, like I said, I work with real estate a lot, and growing up, my grandma was a broker. She owned her own business in Palmyra, Missouri, and so I would go actually up to Palmyra for spring break, and instead of like going vacationing, I would work for the 2 weeks, and my grandma would pay me, so I'd get to go out to her houses and everything else. So I'd have to say the favorite thing is getting to go out to these houses and kind of check them all out, because I'm everywhere here at the lake, so you see a lot of unique stuff. Yeah,
you really do. And again, you know, for people who may not be too familiar with our area, like there are some cool houses.
Yes, there are. There are some pretty unique things out there. Just different. I don't know. People are just creative here.
Well, speaking of people, what do you wish people knew more about videography or just like overall your industry?
So maybe taking consideration what photos and video you're getting, like what area, because like with drone footage, if you're by an airport, I may not be able to get that footage.
Yeah, because like of the flying restrictions.
Yes, so there's a lot that goes into it. You know, I've got to be licensed by the FAA, so I have my remote pilot's license, and there's just some areas that we can't fly. So you always want to look in. You always want to look beforehand and make sure that you're not going to run into any restrictions if you're close to an airport or something like that.
Well, and I'm glad that you mentioned like the licensing that it takes for you to be a videographer. I hear that test is not easy.
It is not. It is like if you're going to go try to do like a base course on flying a plane, probably.
Wow.
You know, except for you're not doing like the plane controls or anything, but you're learning all the airspace knowledge.
Right.
You know, so it's a lot. And I don't even know how I passed the first time.
Yes.
But it's definitely a lot of reading and some things that you just may not know when you get to the test.
Well, I'm sure like some of it, like the real estate test, for example, is like it's some dry material,
right?
So it's a little
if anybody's
hard.
going to take their remote pilot's license, don't be worried. Like it's a hard one. So
yeah, you can keep trying on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing that I did want to touch on too is like switching to editing for a second, because I know that's a big part of the industry and videography. So how long does it typically take you to do edits, like on a listing video, for example, or video in general? Do you like it?
So, so it depends on what I'm doing. So photo or video. Photos can take me probably just a day, like a couple hours to do, but I have more than one person I'm usually working with,
Right.
And then videos can take anywhere from like 5 to 8 hours, again, depending on what you're making. Because if it's something like short and sweet, you're just going to put together to get out there, it's pretty easy. But let's say that you have something that you want more like just moving parts to, and you want like more edits and just more technical stuff.
Yeah,
it's going to take a little bit longer.
Right.
And then the exporting process takes a couple minutes too, depending on how long the video is.
Yeah, we learned that this year.
And if you're
need some good internet.
If you're exporting in 1080p or in 4K is going to take you a lot longer.
Yeah.
So
well, and I know that editing, again, if you have that creative bug, in your brain, it can be a lot of fun too. But it does take a lot of time.
I do like it most of the time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I want to rip my hair out.
Yeah.
During the editing process.
Especially when you're like down to those milliseconds and you can't quite get it to work.
And I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so at a point it's like I'm driving myself nuts because of little things that I'm noticing whenever nobody else is going to notice them.
Right. Yeah, I know. And that's probably my biggest like problem with editing is I'm always like, okay, I see this. Nobody else would probably even notice it, but it drives me crazy.
Yeah. Just the little moving parts too. Yeah.
Okay, a couple more just kind of fun questions. What advice would you give to someone who is thinking about becoming a videographer?
This was a good one. I'd say don't go out buying a bunch of equipment.
Oh, okay.
You want to start off with, first of all, get online and research. And these people online will also tell you, like, don't go out and buy the most expensive equipment. You want to get the base stuff, like a cheap camera, a tripod, and maybe a flash or something, but make sure that you are going to enjoy what you're doing before you start, because the equipment is expensive.
Yeah.
So, you want to start off with your baseline stuff and see
kind
how
of like
much you really
smart,
like it.
start small and then like work your way up.
Yeah, because you really you can do anything even with cheap equipment, just may take a little more editing.
Right.
But, you can get to about the same outcomes. Obviously 4K is a different quality,
right?
So that's one step up. So some cameras don't do 4K, but you don't need to start with 4K if you're doing video. You can start with your regular HD.
Well, and I'm glad because anybody that knows, the cost of that equipment, as you start branching up, it gets super expensive.
Yes, it does.
So I think that's solid advice.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you have to do it all at once.
Yeah. Well, people kind of, it's easy to get in over your head a little bit, because you just want to make sure you're getting the best you can get.
Right, so you can get the best quality.
But you don't always have to reach that far. So you want to make sure you're starting out where you're comfortable, and then kind of go from there.
I love it. Okay, transitioning to some clients. So what would be some advice that you would offer to clients about hiring a videographer?
Keep in mind that your videographer is probably working with other people as well. They have other projects, so be patient with them. Because like I said, the editing process can be very tedious. So as going out and actually getting the clips can be almost therapeutic sometimes. The editing process can be kind of stressful, and if you're working on 4 or 5 projects at one time, like you've got to spread yourself out and make sure that you're not driving yourself into the dirt as well.
Right.
So,
yeah. You have to probably be very diligent with scheduling.
Yes. Make sure to stay in contact with your videographer just to keep up, so they can keep up with you, because, sometimes they'd like to, but they they also don't have the time or the thought to reach out because
Right.
they're working on videos. But definitely stay in touch with them, and just make sure you guys are both on the same page.
Yeah, I think that's solid advice too. Again, not a lot of people understand that, like, when they hire a videographer, that videographer probably has 10 to 15 plus other clients that they're working at the same time. So be a little patient. That's a good
Patience.
one. Okay, last question. This is rapid fire. So just, shoot me what comes to your head. Just 2 of them. So first one being, what is your favorite place at Lake of the Ozarks to eat?
So one of my actual new favorite places, since I've moved to Camdenton, the beginning of this year, is El Caporal, the Mexican restaurant. I love their food and their drinks are pretty good. So.
Yeah.
And the employees are really nice and fun. I like sitting at the bar because they usually give me a good laugh there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, El Caporal is pretty good. I like them. Okay, what is your favorite place to go get a drink?
So in the summertime, I like to go to Backwater Jack's. I worked there for a little bit during a summer, and I actually ended up meeting a lot of people. So I know a lot of people that work there. So sometimes it's fun to go get a drink there. I don't ever go on the weekends during the summertime.
Yeah, it's way too
they're
busy.
Crazy. And whenever I go, I like to see the people I know, and kind of catch up. So I like to go during the week, but it's definitely a nice place to go relax during the week, get a drink, sit by the pool, or you could even go get they have that sushi bar and grill down there too. Yeah. So it
is a cool setup down there. I like that one. Well, Kaylee, we appreciate you coming and sharing so much about LOZ Video. We are blessed to have you and your company here at Lake of the Ozarks. Grow, Thrive, Inspire listeners, if you are interested in connecting with Kaylee, how would they get a hold of you?
So you can connect with me on my email, which is kayle, kayle.lozvideo@gmail.com. Or you could reach me on our Facebook page, which is just LOZ Video LLC, and then also my phone number, which is 417-848-5967.
Thanks for that. So to catch more of our podcast, just keep following us on all of our platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, 89.3 FM. There's just a ton of them. Instagram. So make sure you like and follow us. We sure do appreciate you, Lake listeners, continuing to keep this thing grow, thriving, and inspiring others here at the lake. So, and remember to always grow, thrive, and inspire, and we'll catch you next time.